Hey, welcome to this live. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending where you are at. Um, do this one thing before every meal to lose weight, okay? And that is track your meal with a calorie counter application. There's many apps out there. There's one called MyFitnessPal that I use, so I would recommend that one. I adjust it with my formula. And this formula is not mine. It's a scientifically proven formula. I learned it from my NASA studies. So that's the personal training curriculum. So check it out. It's this is it. So download that app. So you begin doing it before every meal. This is gonna, one, give you more awareness, and you're gonna start understanding what your meals have in terms of calories, protein, fat. Are you going above your calories? Are you maintaining? Are you losing weight, or are you going above? Right. So this is the formula. So let me see. I write it right here so that I won't forget. All right. So to find your maintenance calories, you multiply your body weight times 14 up to 17. So if I don't move that much and I'm inside of my cubicle or office, like right here, I would multiply times 14. But if I move more, if I move a lot, say I'm a construction worker, I would multiply that, my body weight times 17. Okay, I'll do it times 17. Now, that's my maintenance calories. If I want to lose weight, I multiply that maintenance calories, say it's 2,000 times 0.9. So I'll drop a few calories. It'd probably be like up to 1,800 to lose weight. Okay. Now to find my fat intake, I multiply, and all this is going to be in the description below or above, wherever it's at, depending where you're watching this or listening to this. And so now, to find your fat, you multiply your body weight times, so this is body weight times 0.3 up to 0.4. Women stay at 0.4 because of your hormone levels and body composition, and you need a little more fat, okay? Men, you could go down to 0.25, but I just say 3 to 4. It's like, you get more of the delicious foods that are out there, right? But you could go down to 0.25. If that's something that you can work with, go for it. Okay. To find your protein, you multiply body weight times 1 or times 1.2. I recommend 1.2, okay, because you just want to have enough protein. If you're lifting weights, if you don't lift weights, just do the 1, okay? Well, because this is weight loss, muscle building information, I recommend 1.2. 1.2. I want you to be lifting weights. I don't want you to just not do work. I mean, like not exercise your body, your physical body, because it's your body. You want to get some of this stuff. You want to get some muscle, okay? You want to be strong, right? That's why you're here. So now to find your calories for carbs, or your carb intake in grams, you do this. You step number 1, you multiply your fat intake times 9. Then hold that number. Then you multiply your protein intake times 4. Okay. And this is because fat in grams has 9 calories each, and protein has 4 calories each. That's why you're multiplying your fat intake times 9, and you're multiplying your protein intake times 4. So you find your caloric intake. Okay. So now you add both of those, you find the sums of those two, and then you add them together. And now you have your caloric sum for fat and protein. Hi, welcome to this live. I hope you're enjoying this content. Let me know who you are, comment below. I'll answer your questions. So now, step number 2, subtract that sum from your deficit calories. Now the answer is your carb intake in calories. To find it in grams, you just divide your carb intake in calories by 4. Divide it by 4, and there you have it. Now you have your deficit calories and you have your macros. Okay, hope you're taking notes. There you have it. So now every time you eat and you log everything into your caloric counter, your calorie counter diary, you know what like portion of your calories is taking. Say if it's you're doing 2,000, right? And your meal is 500, you've taken 25% of your calories of the day. And people usually eat 4 times a day, so that's perfect, right? If it's 500, 400, 500, that's like 25% of your caloric intake. You're good. You're standing on a great position because now you have 3 more meals to eat throughout the day. And yeah, just get them in and make sure that they're within your macros and your caloric intake. And this happens because you're tracking it before it even goes into your mouth, right? And that's how you become aware, right? Start becoming aware, like what you're eating. So you're not going to be like, I wonder what this has. Oh, I'm just going to take it. And then later in the day, you track it after you eat. And then the day you're like, oh my God, I went over my calories by X amount. I went over. And of course, that way you'll never lose weight. And that way, that's why people get frustrated and they give up. And also another thing I got to say this is that we have habits. Sometimes we were frustrated or, we're like bored. We just go eat. We're eating out of boredom or like something triggers in us and we want to go eat, right? We got to be aware of this stuff and just go against those old habits that might be keeping us overweight, okay? Some habits are good, some habits are not so good, okay? And so, again, you don't learn all of this. You don't learn calories and grams and all this stuff in one day, right? Personally, I track my stuff all the time, but before I would only track it during the summer. Only during the summer, because I want to lose some weight, look a little skinnier, leaner, right? Rather than all poofy, because I would be wearing muscle shirts and stuff like that. But the truth is, you need to do it all the time to learn about what you're eating, right? Now I know that a chicken breast, like 140 grams of chicken breast, is around 27 grams of protein and 3 to 4 fat. Salmon, 140 grams is around the same thing, 28 grams of protein, 0 carbs, and it has around like 7 to 8 fat. I don't know the exact numbers, but I just know it's around there. It's like 7.5 or something like that. But now I know it because I've been doing it all the time. I'm not losing weight right now, but I'm still tracking everything. Tracking. Like I ate a burger the other day. I ate a burger today, actually. I ate 2 after my workouts. More on those cheat meals and how to build muscle with that on another show. But it's around like 70 grams of protein. 2 double doubles is around 70 grams of protein, 80 grams of fat, which is a ton, way past my fat budget. But it was a cheat meal. It's a cheat, and it's around like 62. I think it's 100 grams of carbs. So I learned that today. But if I keep doing this if I keep doing this as a cheat meal, I'll know already. Like, oh, boom, boom, boom. I know how much it is. But cheat meals, you don't really got to track those. But as something seriously, like, oh, I gotta be under, right? You don't want your cheat meal to be under your budget or within your budget, because that's why it wouldn't be called the cheat. But still track it, understand the numbers, learn it. I want to be clear on that. Track everything. Okay. Let me get a sip of this coffee. 30 calories because I put coconut milk in here. See, I looked it up before I even put it in. So look, another way to say this is like, you don't learn your timetables in one day. At least I remember when I was a little kid, I didn't remember my timetables right away. I remember I was like studying them, memorizing. Now they're in my head. They're implanted in my brain now. It took me like a month, right? How long did it take you to learn your timetables? It took a while, right? It wasn't a day. It wasn't in a day. Same with what you eat. You will not be aware of the macros and calories just right away. As you begin to log them in, you log them into your application, your app, your phone, you start seeing the numbers. All right, chicken breast, that's 150 calories. Right, okay. 27 grams of protein and 3 fat. Okay, now I know. Now I know. And it's just repetition, repetition, repetition. You start knowing what's inside, what calories and macronutrients are in your food, right? So the repetition, the repetition. And we eat the same foods all the time. I'm sure you probably have the same type of breakfast most of the time, and same type of lunch. It doesn't get too drastic, too different, right? I would presume. So that's how I am. I switch things up, right? But I usually eat the same things. All right. So that's how you're gonna do it. Like for example, now I see a chicken breast, I see black beans or beans and avocado. I'm like, oh, 400 calories. Oh, so around 40 grams of protein, and then around like 30 grams to 60 of carbs. It's just there because I've done it so long, right? So long. That's what you got to do. That's the one thing you got to do is track everything you eat, every meal, before you eat it. Before every meal, just track it and put it in your application. There's different ones. I can't recommend any other ones because I haven't used any other ones. I've just used MyFitnessPal. I remember when I first started, tracking everything, I used to do it on paper. Actually, I used to have like a little notepad like this. Like what is this? Like 6 wide and like maybe 8 long. Little notepad. My goal was to eat 5,000 calories, right? I was trying to get muscle, but that wasn't the way to do it. I was like 5,000 calories, right? My goal, 5,000. Everything I would eat, boom, track it. Eggs, milk, chicken breast, broccoli. Broccoli was like it's about like 50 calories. But everything I ate, I would track on a piece of paper. This was like in 2014, 15, something like that. But then luckily somebody told me about calorie counters. Like, hey, bro, why are you tracking it on a piece of paper? Download MyFitnessPal. And I started downloading it. I downloaded it and I began tracking everything. That's how I started learning. I started doing that, right? But I was only tracking to lose weight. When I was building muscle, I was not tracking. So I'll gain weight again drastically. I'll gain like, let's say 160 pounds. Now I walk around 140, 145, around there to 150. So I fluctuate. But because I'm tracking, every time I'm like, oh, I'm getting over 50 or I'm getting to 150, I started like taking out a little bit of the carbs, right? Because the protein you want to keep the same, the fat you want to keep the same. The fat really helps you mentally, gives you energy, right? Mental energy, mental clarity. Fat does that, and so does carbs, right? You also need carbs, but the protein you want to keep the same as well. You want to maintain your muscle. You want to keep hitting that gym and getting quality gains. Keep the protein the same. The carbs you can fluctuate them. You can take them out. Sometimes you might be lower in fat. Sometimes you might be higher. So then you can fluctuate the fat and the carbs, but the protein stays the same. You keep it the same, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this one. Sup, Ivan? Uh-oh, I switched this on accident. So I hope you like this one. If you want me to help you with a diet plan, find your macros, or you want me to coach you through this process, send me a DM, reach out to me, send me an email. You can always reach out to me, find me on social media. I'm going to put my email right here so you can contact me. Feel free and I'll help you out, okay? But yeah, the formulas are right here. I put them right there. And I think it's below or above, depending on where you're looking at this. And yeah, good luck. Stay strong, stay fit, stay smart. Much love. Talk to you later.